40 years ago, an ordinary working day in West London turned into one of Britain's most enduring mysteries. On the 28th July 1986, estate agent Suzy Lamplugh walked out of her office in Fulham to meet a client, and she never came back. Despite one of the largest missing person investigations in British history, thousands of leads, decades of detective work and advances in forensic science, nobody has ever been convicted over her disappearance. Now, as police mark the 40th anniversary of the case, detectives admit it still haunts them. This is the story of the disappearance of Suzy Lamplugh. Suzy Lamplugh was 25 years old and worked as an estate agency for Sturgis & Sons on Fulham Road. She had recently started her job and was excited about the future. One diary entry even mentioned that she had been given the desk in the office window because she was considered the agency's most attractive employee. Police now believe this detail may have played a significant role in what happened. Monday, the 28th July 1986 began like any other. At around 12:40 p.m., Suzy left her office carrying house keys, her car keys, and a small purse. She left her handbag behind. Her diary recorded a lunchtime appointment with someone identified only as Mr. Kipper at 37 Shorrolds Road in Fulham. At around 12:50 p.m., witnesses saw her waiting outside the property. About 10 minutes later, another witness saw her with a man. The pair then walked away together. That was the last confirmed sighting of Suzy. When she failed to return to work, her manager contacted her family before reporting her missing later that evening. Later that night, police found Suzy's white Ford Fiesta abandoned on nearby Stevenage Road. Inside, police found her purse. There were no obvious signs of a struggle. Investigators launched what would become one of Britain's biggest missing person investigations. Thousands of statements were taken. Thousands more tips flooded in. Even today, the Metropolitan Police still hold 178 boxes of evidence, around 3,000 digital case files, and an extraordinary card index system containing around 26,000 handwritten records from the original investigation. Remarkably, it's the last Met Police investigation still using that 1980s filing system, in case an overlooked handwritten detail one day proves significant. For years, detectives have examined multiple theories. Today, the senior investigating officer believes Suzy may have been targeted by a stalker. Because she worked in the office window, police believe a predator may have watched her before arranging a fake property viewing under the name Mr. Kipper. The investigation eventually focused on convicted murderer John Cannon. Cannon was serving life sentences for the murder of Shirley Banks and other violent offenses. In 2002, detectives submitted a file to prosecutors, but there was never enough evidence to charge him over Suzy's disappearance. He denied involvement throughout his life and died in prison in November 2024. Detectives sent material recovered from Suzy's car, including adhesive tape used to collect possible DNA, to laboratories in the United States. No usable DNA profile was found. Investigators also recovered smudged fingerprints from the car's rearview mirror. To this day, they remain unidentified. As the investigation reaches its 40th anniversary, detectives say the case continues to affect everyone involved.
We will rely on forensics, but for us, the most important thing is finding Suzy and bringing Suzy home. Any changes in forensic advancements, we can look at, putting them forward again. So that is probably one of our main hopes. It haunts myself as the senior investigating officer, and I think that comes down to the fact that Suzy's never been found. With a lot of our cases, we do have an answer for the family. We know where they were. We know what happened to them. But with this, Suzy never been found, and it haunts us. We don't have a case like this within my team.
Police are expected to move the investigation into an inactive phase next year. That doesn't mean the case is closed. New evidence will still be investigated, and detectives believe advances in forensic science, artificial intelligence, or someone finally coming forward could still solve the mystery. Recent convictions in other decades-old murder cases have come after relatives decided to tell police what they knew many years later. Detectives hope the same could happen here. 40 years after Suzy Lamplugh disappeared from the streets of Fulham, the central questions remain unanswered. Who was Mr. Kipper? What happened after Suzy walked away from that property? And perhaps most importantly, where is Suzy? Police say they are still hoping someone somewhere knows the answer.